There we go. Live.
Yes.
Live with Hijack Life Live. What's our topic today?
Is it Christian to be patriotic?
That's a good topic.
Mm-hmm. Is it Christian to be patriotic? Guess where that came from, that topic?
I don't know. Some really handsome guy.
He's sitting on my right.
Well, if you're watching the screen, it's backwards. That would be me.
Yeah, that's right. You nailed it.
Oh, Lord. Hey, welcome to Hijack Life Live, where we believe that God rescues the dreams that have been shattered by the cruelties and injustices of life.
Welcome, Gianna. She's our online host today.
Hello,
Hey,
Gianna.
where's the Brigade? I miss Brigade.
Brigade is on his wave runner. And he's jumping the waves.
Oh, because I always liked his perspective.
Because it's always like...
It's just like, it's funny. You watch these interviews on TV, like Fox News will go to the beach and they'll ask people. They asked a couple people who the president was. They didn't even know. College students. I'm telling you the truth. God be my witness. Who president? No, I don't know.
Can I tell you
Who's
something?
the vice president? I don't know.
Listen, I watched a video where people went up to strangers and said, how do you feel about President Trump when he canceled Campbell's Soup for middle-class citizens? Oh, when he did that, I remember I was sitting in, and it was all made-up stuff.
None of it.
They were just seeing if people would just act like, just hate the hate,
Yeah.
And when you said, and who the president was, this was stuff that wasn't even real. And they were like, oh, when he did that, I was eating dinner with my wife. We couldn't even finish our food. I was watching this video. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
The one lady, they used to go around college campuses. They would ask them like random questions. They'd be like, "Do you remember which president Benjamin Franklin was? Like, which president was he?" They were like, "Man, I'm not sure, but he definitely is one of the presidents. He's on a $100 bill, right?" And I was like, "This is sick." I'm like, this is horrible.
No, we live in an ignorant culture. We really do.
Ain't that the truth?
We talk about everything but what's important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I thought we'd begin with this thought. What headline news hit you in the eyes this past week? I mean, just smacked you in the face. Headline news. Give it a thought.
Okay, I can tell you.
All right.
It was when a biological male fought in the rink with a biological female, won, her skull was cracked, and he said to the rest of the people that are going to be competing against him, I'm coming for you. And I just couldn't believe that they're letting men beat up women.
Now, that was what? That's not regular boxing. That was the
MMA?
No, whatever.
One of
UFC?
those things.
Something like that.
UFC, right, UFC.
So this UFC biological male knocked out a girl, fractured her skull. They raised his hand. He won, and he said to the rest of the people that are his opponents, "I'm coming for you," and it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, our subject today is actually we're going to do a series.
Okay.
We're going to do a 5-week series on what's important to Americans, and we're going to compare 1998 to 2023.
Oh wow, that's going to be something.
Hold up your paper while I read it. So, for instance, today we're going to talk about patriotism.
It's backwards, so let's read it.
Yeah.
Tell
Okay.
them
Well, I
where
will
it's
just
from.
hold it up so they at least see.
Tell them where it's from and what date.
Yeah. Well, it's from the New York Post.
She's going to put a picture up.
Okay. Great. March 27th, and the article was by Mark Bohr. For instance, in 1998, 70% of all Americans thought patriotism was important. It's 38% today. Right?
So that's tragic for all the people that fought for this country.
Religion, 62% in 1998 thought it was important. Right? Today it's 39%.
Why don't we flip this camera around and then we could let Gianna put
Oh,
her
yeah,
paper
we could do that for a second. We have a bunch of people tuned in already today.
It's right there.
right here, PB.
Oh, yeah. Right there?
Yep, right there. Hit that.
There you
There.
go.
Perfect.
Now it's not
Okay.
backwards.
Do you see it?
Yes. A little
So,
higher, G.
yeah, that's it. Perfect.
Good.
Hey, give Gianna a hand. Look how
All
good
right.
she looks.
That
Whoa.
pretty
She's
lady.
getting married soon. Yeah.
Yay.
All right.
So-
Community. This was really tragic. 62% thought community was important in 1998. 27% today.
That's crazy.
And I was thinking, why? When we discuss one of these each week,
Right.
we're going to see why. I think it's social media. I think it's your phones and your tablets.
For community,
'Cause,
for
yeah,
sure.
you don't get involved in your community.
This next
You
one
do
is
it this
very
way. Yeah.
interesting.
Money. This was the only one that went up tragically. 31% of people in 1998 thought money was important. Today, it's 42%.
Because they're scared today.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
our economy's.
And then children, look, it's half. 59% thought children were important. Today, it's 30%.
Oh, my
That's
goodness.
insane. I'm going to flip the camera.
Yeah. There you go.
So children just aren't
That's
important.
insane. So
Yeah.
that speaks volumes. So which one are we focusing
So
on
today, Semaj came up with a title because we're going to talk about patriotism, and he said, let's discuss it from the perspective, is it Christian to be patriotic?
Like, can it become idolatry?
That was his thought.
Like how we
Can patriotism
we
be-
praise the flag and stuff like that? Can
Yeah.
it become idolatry?
And I have to tell you, I am a patriot.
So am I.
And I look at Israel and I look at those prophets who wept and wrote entire books because they loved their country.
Right.
And of course, their country was symbolic of what was right. It was symbolic of Christ, of God, of Jehovah.
Yeah.
When we get to New Testament, we become that royal priesthood. We
Yes.
become that chosen people. So there is a little difference. But I know people that come out of the military and they'll be all upset if that American flag isn't the highest one out of the three, out of the Christian flag and our own flag. It has to be in a certain spot.
But I understand their
Yeah,
feelings.
but I'm just saying, I think Semaj is correct. That there are times when our country, it can become an idol. God loved the world, not just America. That's hard to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole world. He's as concerned about the people in Afghanistan as he is the people in the United States. And when we deserted them, I don't think God was too pleased.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being patriotic. I think if you become obsessed, maybe in some weird way, being out of the military, I would want the American flag, the country that I risked my life and my family being without a father, to be respected. I grew up with the flag not touching the ground. I grew up with buying only made in America, so I can understand that. This country still says "In God We Trust" by hanging on by the seat of its pants, but it still does say it on our currency, "In God We Trust."
Right. Well, here's what I'd like. For those of you who are online today, and there's quite a few of you this early or into the program, is it you think it's Christian to be patriotic? All right? And we'll read what it is you wrote. So, Martin, you said you do.
I don't think it's Christian or non-Christian to be patriotic.
Okay.
I think if you live in a country that protects your family, has troops that risk their lives to keep your freedom, yes, you should be proud in a humble way of that country that you live in.
Yes. Okay. Semaj. Are we on Instagram?
Yeah, we are on Instagram.
So, you have a different viewership than what I do on Facebook. So, those of you, what about those who are in your generation? How do they feel about patriotism? Let's start with you.
I would say it's all by the extension. Like, how are we? Like, what are we doing? Are we just simply worshiping the flag, or are we worshiping the flag because Christ gave us the flag, or Christ gave us the freedom? So I would say it comes, especially my generation, they would say we get so hooked up on being Americans when we're Christians before we're Americans.
All right, but does that mean we should be unpatriotic?
And not necessarily, but
Yeah.
not necessarily. I think, and I'm just going off of my generation and just what I've seen, and even how I feel a little bit personally. Like, I think sometimes we get so hooked up on, okay, we are Americans, but at the same time, we're Christians before we're Americans. So sometimes people, like, granted, I wear, on 4th of July, I wear my red, white, and blue shorts. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I do that and all that. It's not a problem for me. Now, some of my friends would be like, why are you wearing those shorts?
Yeah, and I think that's what this article said. 70% in 1998 felt patriotism was important.
Yeah.
We're down to 38%,
okay, well,
which means patriotism isn't important.
Let me tell you something. If some terrorists come with a hijacked plane and hit the White House, you can bet the good Lord seat you're sitting on that there'll be an American flag on every corner, on every car, on every window for the next 30 days. And then when the smoke settles, those flags won't be seen again. So when people become, look at 9/11. You couldn't buy an American flag if you drove them
but
an
when
hour.
was 9/11?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it today, some people are allowed to say that's what America deserves. Look how they treated this group of people and that group of people. I'm telling you.
Tell them to move to a country that doesn't have an armed force to give them freedom.
A different attitude in it all. Hey, Sarge, good to see you. Julie, good to see you.
I bet you Sarge flies his American flag proud.
So anyway, we're gonna work through an article written by Mark Van Bibber of Christian Answers, and the question was, is it Christian to be patriotic? So I'm going to start with you, Semaj. Let's begin to work through his article.
Well, the answer to this question depends on the meaning of the word patriotic. As with many words, there are different degrees of meaning, and different people use the word in different ways. So, for example, at its simplest meaning, being patriotic means loving one's country, as long as that love for country does not supersede one's love for God.
Well, that's well said.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's what I was saying.
Now he's answering this from what he considers a Christian perspective.
I think it's well said.
Yeah. But the reality is, for a lot of people, that's not true.
You
Right.
think
Patriotism is first.
Really?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Listen, I had a teacher that literally, he die hard in his faith or whatever. He was actually Jewish. You would have thought he was you would have thought being an American was a religion before his Judaism.
But I come down to a true Christian puts nothing before it.
Yeah, well, let's keep reading.
All right,
We're going to look at these because there's scriptures in the midst of all this.
So there's nothing wrong with a Christian being patriotic. However, another definition of patriotic implies that the individual should place the interests of the nation above his or her personal and group interests. Carried to this extreme, patriotism can become a form of idolatry, particularly if one's love for his country is greater than his love for God and God's plan of redeeming people from every tribe, tongue, and nation.
Yes. So, how do you said you felt he nailed it.
I thought he nailed it.
Yeah, that's what I was pretty much saying.
I mean, ask Gianna, the day we bought this property, what was the first thing I did in the front yard?
Hung an American flag.
Hung an American flag.
Right. We probably should have hung a Christian flag.
And
I put crosses up.
You do have 3 crosses out front.
Me personally, I probably would have hung a Christian flag. I mean, but I have nothing against America. I just would have probably hung a Christian flag.
That's your generation.
It is.
And my generation is buy made in America, which you can barely do today, but that was my generation.
My generation, I'm going to go back, right? My generation was, the joke was it's made in Japan.
Oh, I wish
Or
it
it's
was.
made in China.
I wish it was in
now,
Japan.
yeah. And then it all flipped. What do some of our viewers feel? We've got quite a few online right now.
I'm so sick of buying
Any
stuff from
comments?
Amazon that comes from China because I keep doing it to myself. You see this thing, it's so fantastic, it comes in, it's junk. It's missing parts, it breaks before it even starts to work, and it's always made in China.
Hey, wait a minute. You know what?
What?
France already said that they think that the dollar should not be paramount, or the paramount, the one use of currency in Europe. And they are now using the Chinese dollar.
Ugh.
The France prime minister, in essence, ditched the American dollar.
I saw it.
Yeah, but you know why? Because we have a president it's a joke on foreign soil. It's a joke in America.
I was going to say,
And
what do you mean
we've
foreign
lost.
soil?
We have lost complete respect of nations. Of foreign nations.
100%. We're like the opposite of The View. We're the opposite panel of The View.
We are The View. We're just
the
the other
real
view.
one. The Other View. That's a good name, The Other View. Gianna bought
Wait, you guys will be on ABC
The
next.
Other View. I love it. That's brilliant.
The Other View.
That's awesome.
Gianna bought this dress. I'll give you an example. How many of you bought something from China and were disappointed? Gianna bought this dress on Amazon, and it was sequin. Oh, it was so pretty. She gets this stupid piece of junk, and it's printed sequins. It wasn't real sequins. It was printed
so
on the
funny.
material. We laughed so hard. I am so anti-China. It's horrible. God forgive me. But when you get
It was
burned as
so
much as that, you
funny.
get burned.
Well, I have to say to you, you're also paying a fraction what we should pay if it was made in
But
the
you
United
can't-
United
It was
States.
Well,
75. I
you
think
know,
it was like $75.
She pays $75. Listen, you pay peanuts, you get.
What do you want? You think you're going to get
Listen,
real
they-
sick?
you-
Come on.
you know what
They're real
they say?
sick.
Hey,
Yeah,
$75
Express.
they say if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. So I don't know what to tell you.
No, we are no longer
right.
respected among other nations.
That's the
Julie
truth.
said.
Yeah, no, and she is correct, and that's this administration has just destroyed our respect anywhere. It has. I mean, all you got to do is look at the border. Any other country would say, "What kind of idiots are this to allow 3 million people come pouring over our borders? We pave them, and we're sending billions of dollars over to the Ukraine because Biden's got his hand in their pocket."
Did you see that they just said that they haven't predicted that they're going to run out of weapons, and it slowed. All it did was slow down the defeat, which is such a painful thing
Yeah, we
to
knew
see.
that.
That's so
you knew
sad.
you couldn't win. Hi, honey. Good to see you. Not my honey, Honey Clee.
That's funny.
All right, Martin, let's go.
Yeah. Where am I at? Oh, as far as a Christian's responsibility towards government, we know from Romans 13, 1 through 7, that we are to be subject to the governing authorities and to honor them. That's like render under Caesar.
Yeah.
Even when they are not honorable, because it is ultimately God who has placed them in authority over us.
That is a tough one.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know.
we have to honor what we do, and because you're going to see that. So let's discuss. Do you think that God has anything to do with wicked leaders in authority?
I don't know that I agree that God puts them in authority.
All right, what do you think?
I believe that everything happens for a purpose. So, I mean, like, if it's God's will, it's God's will. Granted, some things bad, but we learn from that.
All right, so what's our final authority?
Our final authority is God.
What's our final authority in terms of, I mean, it is God, but how has he spoken to us?
I mean, sometimes we learn from the bad things that happen.
How does God speak to us? Every morning you get up, you read. What do you read?
The word, the
The
book,
word- the
His
word of
word,
God.
the word
Bible,
of God.
because that's our final authority, right?
Yeah.
But how can you say that He puts them?
No, look at this. Come on, I want you to read it.
I mean, King
You don't
Saul,
like it, but
Because
read it.
we're not. He's not a puppet.
Wait, now read it.
This we know: God places and displaces kings. Okay.
Keep going.
Furthermore, God's word could not be clearer. God is sovereign over the affairs of men, and He rules over nations. But we have a choice to do left and right: vote Republican, vote Democrat.
We did, but
I mean, but look at Nebuchadnezzar, though.
yeah, ultimately God rules over nations. Look, he raised up Nebuchadnezzar
Yeah.
to be the chastisement of a nation that rejected
Yeah,
him.
but he wound up bowing to the Lord.
He did. Might be nice if Biden did that. But anyway.
All right, so that was Daniel 4:17.
Yeah. So, I mean, you look, there's Ahab, a wicked king, his wife Jezebel, a wicked queen. And when he fasted for 3 days, God saw his fasting. And he said to him, "Oh, wow, did you see how Ahab humbled himself before me?"
You think this administration is going to fast before?
I'll tell you what I think, and I'm going to probably get myself in deep trouble. But, we're talking about patriotism and so forth. I don't know. I didn't think this at first. But I don't know that Biden and his administration, come on, let's be honest, it is completely evil.
Of course it is.
He puts every kind of pervert there is in office. Oh, he does.
How about the guy that
Come
stole
on,
the
the person
suitcases?
over health is transgender. The person over travel is a homosexual. The person who is his speaker of the house is a lesbian. So what I'm saying is that he chooses people whose lifestyles are not pleasing to God. We all struggle with sin. And he parades them, he applauds them, he sticks them in our face as this is something we're supposed to accept. When I began to look at that, especially the November, this last election, here was a president, 78% of Americans thought we were going in the wrong direction. 78%. 72% disapproved. Oh, look who's on, Robert and Anna. Disapproved of his performance. And yet there was no red wave. I'm beginning to think he's God's hand of discipline on the United States of America. He is his rod of chastisement for the fact we murdered 70 million babies, slaughtered them in the womb.
Unless you say you're going off today.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, he's slaughtered. He has slaughtered. We've slaughtered 63 million, somewhere around there, babies in the womb. We have rewritten God's definition of marriage. The United States government rewrote it.
Well, why?
That's profanity.
So while you're talking about that,
So I wonder if he's not God's hand of judgment on the United States of America.
how do you think the families that lost their children in Tennessee feel when that happened? He made it Transgender Day. Is that the day being National Transgender Day? The day those kids were killed.
And look what his wife did. Here's the one. We have a new holiday, the Woman's Holiday. This is the Woman's Day. What she do? She gives an award to a man.
Biological male on Women's Day.
I mean, I think we're starting to see his wrath on the United States of America. I'm sorry, but I
When
just
you
think
first
that's
told me about that. That was
See,
pretty.
Julie said she never thought of it that way. But that's the only thing I can see. And we just have to pray that God flips this thing, because if not, we're just going to keep going downhill. We haven't seen anything. We're going to be like the European countries, weak, no presence, a joke. That NATO thing is Trump, best thing he ever did was pull out of NATO. That thing is a joke. We may not
They
like
don't
Trump.
do anything.
Can I tell you, we may not like Trump as a person because he's just such a pompous donkey. He is. But you know what? What did he ever do wrong? He was one of the best presidents we ever had.
Well, I'll tell you.
He did more for the black culture and the black college than any other president, and yet you guys hated him. Sorry.
You guys.
Well, everybody I talk to, you're the rarity.
On that note,
Look, I want to see what your friends say.
I don't know what they're going to say at this point.
Come on, you gotta love me.
Boy.
Tell the truth.
All right, I'm going to keep reading the Word of God
all right.
on that note. Romans 13, 1 through 7. Submission to authorities. Let every person be subject to the governing authorities. For there is no authority except from God. And those that exist have been instituted by God. That backs you, what you just said.
Yes.
Therefore, whoever resists the authority resists what God has appointed. I don't like it.
Oh, I
and
know.
those who resist will incur judgment.
Oh,
come on.
come
well, then
on.
I guess everybody has Let's Go Brandon bumper sticker better peel it off.
We're not resisting. We're saying we disapprove.
All
There's
right.
a difference.
For rulers,
I still pay my taxes. That's resisting.
Gotcha.
I still honor him as my president, although I don't like. I don't think he is my president. But anyway, go ahead.
for rulers,
Wait a minute. Wait, Peter, you say you still honor him?
I do.
How so?
He's my president. I pay taxes. I mean, when he comes on TV, I turn him off. I mean, I honor him.
the other view continues. For rulers are not.
I do watch him, but then I fume. Come on.
For rulers are not
I gotta
a
shut
terror to good conduct, but to bad. Would you have no fear of the one who is in authority? Then what is good, and you will receive his approval, for he is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword in vain. For he is the servant of God. Who's the servant of God? The person he puts in place.
And that's everything from your local policeman to your military to whoever. We can't help it if they corrupt. Here's the point. Follow me. Every institution has been created by God. Whether we corrupt it or make it sacred, profane it or make it sacred is our choice.
What if somebody cheats on an election? Then it's not in there by God.
Ultimately, God is sovereign over the affairs of men and he rules over nations. So ultimately, if that happens, God has allowed it to happen. Why? Because we didn't stand up? Because we didn't do what we were supposed to do? Or
we
is
wanted
it
to
God's
punish
wrath?
us. Yeah, right.
See, look at this.
Let's see. Where did I leave off?
Who
he is
said
the servant-
amen, my brother? Joe Elton.
For he is
52.
the servant of God, an avenger who carries out God's wrath on the wrongdoer. Therefore, one must be in subjection, not only to avoid God's wrath, but also for the sake of conscience. For because of this, you also pay taxes, which I'm fine with, for the authorities and ministries of God, attending to this very thing, Pay to all what is owed to them. Taxes to whom taxes are owed. Revenue to whom revenue is owed. Respect to whom respect is owed. Well, that I'm going to dispute with you. And honor to whom honor is owed. So respect to whom it's owed doesn't mean it's a guaranteed you have to give it. It's
No.
if it's owed.
I understand that. I understand that completely. And the reality is, if somebody who was wicked asked me to kneel before them and kiss their ring, I wouldn't.
When did something that just happened? And someone asked.
Do we have any comments?
Was it from you, someone?
I'm sorry, I'm all over the place right now. We don't, unless you said go Trump.
She did?
Yeah, she said it right there.
Oh.
The one guy in over in Asia, that one leader, his name what is it? What's that Buddhist leader guy name? It's
You talking about North Korea?
no. You just said
The Dalai Lama?
The Dalai Lama, yeah.
Okay.
He's going through controversy right now because a little kid came up to him. He kissed the little kid on his lips and told the little kid to suck his tongue.
Come on.
I'm not making this up. You can pull up right now,
so
baby.
disgusting.
That's okay.
We're fine. We don't want to read that.
We need to keep
Holy
going.
Mother in heaven.
The
Go
Dalai
ahead.
Lama. The Dalai Lama said that to a little kid.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
listen. So as Christians, we are under obligation to God to be model citizens, right? Subject to the governing authorities over us by obeying laws, paying taxes, etc. Here's why I don't fear the government. Or at least I didn't used to. I don't know now. And that's because I don't break the law. If you don't break the law, what do you have to fear?
Yeah.
It's just like if we live by grace, we don't have to worry about the law because grace supersedes the law.
Right.
So if we are model Christians, we don't break the law. I'm sorry, we don't. You know what I mean? However, our responsibilities are first and foremost to be obedient to God. Remember when they said to John and Peter and James that they couldn't preach the gospel, and they said we must obey God rather than man? They threw them in jail. They feared for their lives.
Right.
Because, and I'll tell you, I feel there are many in today's administration in the White House that feel Christianity is a nuisance, it's in the way, and it opposes their progressive, woke agenda. And we one day we may need to fear for our lives. I mean, that the Ukrainian president, he was literally jailing priests because communism doesn't believe there's a God, because that gives you an authority higher than your government. So people don't know this about the Prime Minister of Ukraine, but he was jailing Christians and priests.
It's a communist country, Ukraine.
Yeah.
But they have churches. The church burnt down.
Churches that are owned by the state.
Wow.
However, our responsibilities are first and foremost to be obedient to God. In America, a constitutional republic where individual citizens have the ability to change and influence government by voting or by being politically involved in appropriate and inappropriate ways, part of being a good citizen is voting and having whatever positive influence we can on our government. Correct?
Sure.
Agree with them? I do too. In countries where Christians have to say no to decisions of their leaders, it becomes much more difficult. And I think it's becoming much more difficult today.
No, I agree.
I mean, look what the Methodist Church did. The Methodist Church, which was for years a stalwart in terms of what was right and wrong.
I know exactly where
There's
you're
a
going.
whole new group of Methodists that want to ordain homosexuals.
No marriages.
Are you talking about Mike Todd?
No, ordain homosexuals and do homosexual marriages. So what happened here, interestingly enough, is so what they did was, if you don't go along with this, they are now saying that you have to purchase your parsonage. It won't be provided. I'm not sure about what happens to the church property, but I mean, I have a dear friend in a Methodist church, came out of our church, got his call from our church. And he's just between a rock and a hard place. He's not sure what he's going to do at this point. Because he said they're taking away all their benefits as pastors if they don't go along with their with this agenda.
So the majority of the Methodist Church is that agenda, didn't just split
We
down
don't
the middle?
know that it's a majority, but it's the people who are in power.
Or the people that are using their voice.
Yeah. So let's keep. Where was I? So in countries where Christians have no say, it is more difficult. It is very hard to love oppressive governments. However, as Christians, we are still obligated to pray for our leaders. God will honor our obedience to this command and His perfect timing. Listen, there was nothing righteous about those leaders in Rome. And yet, I mean, Jesus actually became subject to Roman authority unto death.
Mm-hmm.
So it tells us that and to look at this. If Jesus had opposed the Roman authority, we wouldn't have a Savior.
Right.
So all authority, including Herod, including Pilate, have been established by God. Whether we like it or not. You know, the office is corrupted, but that office is established by God. So should a Christian be a patriot? Within reason, yes. At the same time, a Christian's ultimate faith, love, and obedience are to be reserved for God alone.
Let me tell you what. If I was born 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I would not be nowhere near as patriot as I am today. Being born in 75.
Really?
Yeah,
We
100%.
just got a comment from
Yeah.
me on Instagram. The Methodist Church broke into three parts essentially. The group and the second U.S. section split between conservative and more progressive. The progressive group won't be supported by the global Methodist Church.
Won't be or will be?
It says won't be.
The progressive.
The progressive group won't be supported by the global Methodist Church.
But that's strange because when I was talking to, we should bring Josh Hughes on because he's
Yeah.
in the Methodist Church. He was telling me that they're going to take away, like for instance, they can stay in this Methodist denomination, or whatever. She said there's three fractions now, three groups. But he told me that they now have to buy what was once given to them.
I think they're all screwed up. And that means we need to pray for all people according
Yeah.
to 1 Timothy. First of all, then I urge that supplications, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings and all who are in high positions, that we may lead peaceful and a quiet life, godly and dignified in every way. This is good, and it is pleasing in the sight of our God and Savior, who desires all people to be saved and to come to the knowledge of the truth. Lord Jesus.
Amen.
Amen.
So let me ask you a question. How do you pray for President Biden when you pray for him?
God
you
forgive
asking
me. I
me?
don't pray.
I just
I'm
say,
asking you.
Lord,
Well,
please-
first of all, do you even pray for him?
I'm not going. I do pray for our nation.
But you don't pray for him specifically.
I mean, I feel like he's in that. If I'm praying, he's in the leader of our nation.
Listen, don't apologize. I'm just
No, I'm not.
asking
But
you.
no, I'm just
So-
saying. I feel like if I pray for our nation, he's in that.
All right, do you pray for President Biden?
Honestly, no.
Do you, Gianna?
I'm so sorry, but I don't.
You have to. I pray for him every day. You,
I mean, the Bible clearly
ask
says
me
you
how I
have to.
pray.
God,
You know how I
please.
pray? I seriously. I pray that God would bring him to repentance. And if he doesn't, God will take him out.
Excuse me.
I do.
Yours, dementia, God bless you.
I pray that God would take out everyone who's, and I don't mean take them out like shoot them, but God would take them out of office and that he put in their place somebody that was righteous, that walked in the fear of the Lord and governed in righteousness, because this administration does not govern in righteousness.
Yeah, I would never wish any harm on President Biden.
Hi,
but-
Bonnie.
But I
Good
love,
to-
I love Bonnie.
Yeah,
and
how's your
George.
hubby? Shoot us a little note. Let us know.
But I saw a video the other day where it wasn't Fox, it was a regular news station, whatever, just asking him, about, is he running again? He goes, I might roll an egg around? And the guy, it was Al Roker. It was Al Roker from Good Morning America. Asked who's going to run again.
He's a really nice guy.
And I love it. I met Al Roker before. He's super nice. And he said, I might roll around an egg for a little bit or something. And Al Roker made light, and his wife was there kind of looking at him, like chuckling, like, why is he saying that? And then he said, we're running. We just haven't announced it yet. And I actually feel bad for him. I have to kind of say I feel bad for him because I really do think he doesn't realize sometimes what he's saying.
I'm telling you, their agenda is so evil. I'm sorry.
It is evil.
It's just, it opposes God on almost every front. It's scary.
You know what bothers me? I'll tell you about, even if I wasn't a Christian. Imagine, you're a hardworking family trying to make ends meet. You're struggling to put your kids through college. You're struggling to pay for your health care. And yet the border, they come over and they give them free health care. They give them free college. They give them free this. What about the Americans that have a flag up in their front yard?
Yeah. Well, I want to ask Semaj, I want to ask him a question. I want to ask it to you as a person in your 20s.
Okay.
And then I want to ask it as a person from an African-American culture.
Okay.
No, you're an American. You're really not an African American.
Yeah, no.
You're a black American. Like I'm a white American. We're Americans.
What am I?
You're a
black
brown
American.
brown American.
He's a black American.
She's a paste American.
Oh dear.
Look how
Oh
white she
dear.
is. All right. So this is the question I want to ask.
Okay.
I don't understand it. So, as a black culture, they're the most religious group of people in the entire United States.
Yes, I would say.
They are,
I would
and they
say.
tithe more than any other culture in the United States. Were
Yeah.
you aware of that?
Mhm.
Thanks, Ron.
All right. Then you're in your 20s.
Yes.
So you're in this generation, which,
It's twisted.
doesn't value the same thing we valued when we grew up.
Yeah.
Kind of even looks at America in a light that it's not the greatest place in the world. And then as a person who went to an all-black college, I don't understand how someone with your religious roots, I mean, and they're deep, and people that go to church every week, don't see can continue to vote for people who are evil in the sense that they oppose some of God's most valuable and important issues in terms of moral line. Like, how could you vote for somebody that murders a person in the womb, that agrees that we can change the definition of marriage? I mean, I don't understand that.
While he's thinking, can I just say something?
Yeah.
Remember when I told you they went around and asked people questions about how do you feel about when so-and-so did some XYZ that never really happened? And they gave a whole story, not acting like they knew it when it was a lie. Okay. They vote that way. I'm just going to say from people that I know that vote that way because it's like Republicans are all the way. Democrats, they vote Democrat no matter what's happening. They will make it. It's like an Eagles fan. No matter how bad the team is, they are an Eagles fan. That's why this certain culture of people that won't change their mind no matter how corrupt our country is, no matter how evil it is, no matter how high gas is, no matter how low their 401k went, no matter what, they will still say, I'm voting for him. It's just like a team. Semaj?
Never mind. Go ahead. I was going to quote Charles Barkley, but I won't.
So here's my take on it.
Okay.
I think, and this is just me coming from all different angles here.
I tell people that the devil was in office.
I think our two-party system in America is very unique, and I think there's bad on both sides, and I think there's good on both sides.
Great.
I agree.
So I think regardless, doesn't depend on race or whatever, people will side. Like, I have people in my family that are Republicans. I have relatives that are black, obviously, are Republicans, or registered Republicans in my family. So I'm saying this to say the reason why is that we have this and this goes back to your point, Pete, we have the social media perspective. We have these big glorifying perspectives that are more popular than some things that are truth, that are global and they get within the mind, if they're black, white, whoever, and they'll say, all right, well, this is right. So key example. When I was on campus, I used to tell people that I'm not a Planned Parenthood fan. And they would ask why. And the first question immediately was, oh, so you don't believe in women's rights. That was the first question, right? So, boom, because that's the in the media, the social media sense, that's the first attack.
Yeah,
That's the first attack.
But I'm going to tell you, I don't know that is a black perspective.
No, I'm not saying it's about
as much as it is
let me finish.
a progress. It's a
What
it's a lie.
What
that's
about
been
the
bought by
free
women.
Obama phone? What about the free Obama
Well,
phone?
hold on. So I'm going back to say
Go ahead.
the reason why so many people are so like, what they're so taken back, especially I'll say my culture, they're taken back by when I say something, I said, well, do some research on Planned Parenthood. You know who Margaret Sanger is? She hated us and created facilities in our communities to kill us.
Yeah,
But-
now, and I'm going to go one step further. I think that a lot of our social programs keep people on the plantation, no matter what color they are.
Oh, and that's why
and we
I
don't
said
oppose that. I mean, you know, I just don't understand how Christians who have a spirit of discernment can continue to vote for an administration that puts into office people whose lives and whose way of life opposes everything that God says is right. I don't understand it.
I'm just
Well,
gonna,
No matter what color we
Did I
are.
answer your question properly?
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, so and to give an even deeper answer, I think the reason why is because, number one, if history will tell you, and this is where we get wildly misinterpreted. And this is like, I'm not even saying this.
Right.
I'm giving this from perspective of just what I've learned over the years and just talking to other people in my culture.
I think Nate's on.
Yeah, Nate made a comment right here. So unfortunately, the two-party system is severely flawed.
I agree.
So as each side falls further into extreme views and actions, the other sides match that to keep relevant. It's a self-defeating
wow,
position.
that's a
on
good-
people.
that's
That's
a great-
huge.
that's
That's
a great-
very true.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if you go back to the Abraham Lincoln era, a lot of historians will say that the Republicans of that time are the present-day Democrats.
Right.
right, but hear me though. Lincoln freed the slaves, but who killed him, a Republican or a Democrat? I know the answer.
I don't know who.
The Democrat.
Well, that
Well,
is
here-
true.
yeah,
But,
here-
but that's why they say there was a
But-
switch at the time.
Right.
And I'm not saying I agree with that personally. I'm just saying historians will say that's why you get a lot of Democrats that are predominantly black.
But do we really have a two-party system? Let's be
No,
honest.
I don't think we do. I think they all have the same
First of all,
purpose.
something's not right. When I looked it up the other day because I argued with somebody, I said, you know, the senators make, I forget, $380,000 a year or whatever, and they said, no, they don't. They make less than $200. I said, that's not true. There's no way a federal senator makes less than $200.
No, they
Here,
make
you
good
know what
money.
they make? No, they make $180,000 a year.
So then let me ask you a
So-
question. If Joe Biden was just a senator, then how did he get all his money?
Well, that's what I'm going to tell you. That this is the corruption, and I agree, whether you're Republican or Democrat. There's no way a person can get into office and make $180,000 a year and come out 20 years later worth $280 million a year or $180 million. Something is not right in that system.
you know,
It's just not. You
Yes,
know what I mean?
Bruce,
But so I have to look at it differently. I can't vote Republican or Democrat. I have to vote policy.
yeah, I
And
agree.
I have to
I
know
agree.
what I believe pleases God.
But-
whether the guy's a Democrat or
I agree.
Republican, an
I agree.
independent, white, black,
But let
brown,
me ask you a
whatever.
question. Let's make it simpler. I always, whenever we get into a discussion, whether it's within the board at Wigs and Wishers,
Oh
or
wait,
the-
what was that one?
you missed it, right?
I missed.
Wait, click see more.
Click see more, PB, so we can see the whole thing.
Can you read it? Somehow I lost it. It was Randall, right?
She said, I grew up in the church and I wish someone would ask me that question as a 50-plus person. And yes, our social programs are a new version of slavery. So I hope she's still on here.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, I don't know how people with discernment and understanding to think that by voting red, we're voting for the rich, and by voting blue,
It's
we're
not
voting for the
true.
poor. It's such a
But
joke.
My question is this: like I started to say, within any time there's a hard decision to make, ask Gianna. I will always say, look, yellow and blue make green. Let's break it down and make it simple. If we put on the ballot that every American votes on, do you think it's okay? Do you vote yes that a biological man should be able to say he's a woman and get in a fighting rink and knock the life out of a girl and win? And do you think that's okay? I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I'm telling you, unless this world is so far gone that there's no help for it, they would lose that vote, regardless of being Republican or Democrat.
Well, look,
We've really switched gears here.
we did, but it's okay. We can pick this up because it's good stuff. I was just thinking the other day when they released the basketball player, the professional basketball player from Russia,
Okay.
Now she was.
Oh, you're talking about Brittany Griner.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, a phenomenal basketball player.
Yeah, she's great.
But when they asked her why, they asked the press secretary why they released her and didn't try and release the man that was there, who had been there for 5 years or 6 years. She said because she represents who we believe needs the freedom. She was basically saying it's because of who she is, what she represents, which is the woke agenda. That's why we felt it was more important
to
put our time and money in that. And I'm thinking, you're backing everything that grieves the heart of God.
I thought they said the man wasn't on the table. It wasn't on the table. That was the...
I do believe, though, that with her sexual orientation did cause a lot more awareness in the country. I won't disagree.
Yeah, and I'm saying, and that's one reason why this administration got behind her. I'm saying this administration gets behind everything that grieves the heart of God. I'm not saying, listen, that I'm more righteous than she is, but by the grace of God, I'm saved. But I also know what pleases God and doesn't please God, and make an effort to do that. Mm-hmm. And I think this administration does just the opposite. It doesn't applaud anything that pleases God.
No way.
Or approves it. And I don't know how we can vote that. I just don't know how as Christians, whatever color we are, whatever culture we belong to, we can vote that.
Well, going back to your question you asked me, did I answer that properly?
Partially. I think I cut you off.
Well, yeah, I wanted to thoroughly answer your question. So can you ask it again?
I just said as a culture and as a person in their 20s, how is it that, on the whole, your culture will vote for a whole party that stands for things that displease the Lord?
And that's why I said that, because it goes back to Uncle Marty's thing. Like, there's people like the Eagles, like when they're Democrat, they're Democrat all the way. When they're Republican, they're Republican all the way. Like my mom will tell you, like my mom's a registered Democrat, but she'll tell you full faith that she doesn't like a Democrat. She'll be like, I don't like him. Like she'll say
right.
it. Like,
it takes me so long to get out of the booth because I vote for the person and
when I vote it takes me a while because I have to.
I do too, and I do my research.
Yeah, so like Nate said it perfectly, but this is why I said the reason why there's so many black people that vote Democrat is because of this. Nate just explained it. So Democrats and Republicans switched positions over the 40s.
That's correct.
40s.
Yes.
That's true. In President Lincoln's time, he was a Democratic Republican, and he was a Republican. He was a registered Republican. And freed the slaves, what the next two presidents did. And it said little to advance his cause until it became critical the slavery issue would be wrapped up. So, like, that's why it's because of that switch, especially in the 40s to 60s. There was that switch. That's seriously why, though.
Okay, so we're going to pick up, did Jesus resist the wicked authority of Rome or subject himself to it? So we're going to have to pick this up, and then we'll cover... that's going to be a good one. Next week, it's religion. 62% thought it was important in 1998. Only 39% feel it's important today. So we got some hot topics coming up over the next 5 to 6 weeks. So we better close out, you guys, because look, we got all this, but we hadn't even touched.
Well, hey, remember to like, share, and if there's something you'd like us to discuss on The Other View at Hijack Life Live, make sure you put it in the comments. We'll be sure to address it for 2023. Pastor Bruce, what is Pastor Blake preaching this week at the Gloucester County Community Church?
Humility greater than the symbol hypocrisy.
Nice. That's a good one.
That's our subject. So anyway, and will we be here the last Thursday?
When's the wedding?
We'll be here on last Thursday, April.
We will.
We're only going to miss Thursday. Well, we could do it from the Bahamas.
We'll do it from there.
We'll do it in the
Are
Bahamas.
you guys going to call me in?
Yeah.
You have to call me in because I won't be in the
Hey,
Bahamas.
listen, we need to raise money for Semaj so he can go to Bahamas with us. So if you guys want to give money to Semaj, we're collecting it now. What do you need, $5,000?
Yeah. No, I'm serious.
It's $5,000 for two of us, so you can get away with about $3,000.
All right, if anyone wants to help fund my Bahamas trip, it'd be greatly appreciated. $3,000.
Let's get
That's the Democrat coming out in you.
No, it's not. I suggested it's a Republican coming out of me. So we need to help this guy get there. Come on.
So if anyone wants to help donate to my Bahamas trip, $3,000, $4,000, whatever you want to give, I'll take $5,000. Please,
2,500 will do it.
please help fund my my Bahamas trip. I'll stay in PB's room.
On
There
that
you go.
note,
My wife will like
on
that.
that note, live for Jesus,
and even a bad day will be a good day.
Be
You be
blessed.
blessed. Thanks
Fund
for
my
tuning in.
trip.